Today's episode of BIFA TV is sponsored by CNS. CNS Enterprise allows customers to streamline their end-to-end shipping and cargo processes using a single online solution.
Good morning and welcome back to BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today we welcome back Ian Matheson with the latest headlines from across our industry. Ian, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, actually. Natalie, how are you?
Yep, I'm all good. I think we've got a
Good.
lot of stories to cover off this week, haven't we?
There is a lot of news that could affect the members' interests and business in the last week. Yeah.
So we should get cracking then.
Okay. Obviously, you've probably seen in the aviation arena, Heathrow Airport, and a competing bidder, the Aurora Group, submitted plans for a third runway at the airport. The competition to oversee the multi-million-pound project has been thrown wide open.
Well, this isn't the first time that we've reported on this, is it, Ian? BIFA supported Heathrow's expansion for many years and will continue to do so.
That's right. BIFA members who, they're the guys who facilitate a significant proportion of the UK's visible international trade through gateways such as Heathrow. Just want to see the government abide by its objective, I think, to enable the delivery of an operational third runway by 2035, which it said it's going to do. That will obviously require some pretty swift decisions on the proposals that have been submitted in order for applications for planning consent to come forward in time to enable decisions to be made during the course of this Parliament.
So we may finally start to see some overdue expansion of Heathrow.
Well, I'm not going to hold my breath, Natalie, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, whilst BIFA has been waiting for news about a third runway, it has focused on the airport's ongoing redevelopment of its cargo operations. And BIFA is obviously working on behalf of members very closely with the airport to support its ambitious plans to deliver a fundamental change to the way that cargo operates at the airport. And those plans would mean a significant redevelopment of the cargo estate as the airport looks to accommodate rising demand and modernise some ageing first-line cargo handling facilities and improve cargo flows and efficiency.
That's right, Ian. BIFA held its second Heathrow advisory body meeting last week. Obviously, there's lots of stakeholders involved in that. Obviously, there's some further discussions due to happen about the expansion of Heathrow.
Yeah, it was building on the momentum, established during the inaugural meeting back in May, which was again attended by forwarders, Heathrow Airport, BT, CCS UK, HMRC, airline representatives, transit shed operators and ground handlers, all those people with a stake in the business.
Yes, they're all going to be key stakeholders going forward during these future discussions.
Yeah, and I attended the meeting and it focused very much on current issues about Heathrow's landside efficiency, and the other attendees, they were updated about key developments at the gateway from Heathrow Airport, as well as an update from BT CCS UK on the selection process behind the decision to use its advanced information system to implement its slot booking solution for landside movements. For me, the meeting clearly showed how BIFA's Heathrow advisory body will be able to influence the modernisation of those freight systems, develop the enhancement of data sharing across the community, and address the pressing challenges associated with the operational transformation.
And it's also worth mentioning at this point, Ian, isn't it, that if we have any members who are watching who would like to get involved and support the Heathrow advisory body, they can contact our colleague Andy Cook, and we'll pop his contact details in the description below.
Yeah, that's right. And staying with air freight, IATA reported that cargo demand continued to grow at a modest rate in June despite trade disruptions.
Yes, I can see from my notes here that demand is obviously measured in cargo tonne kilometres, and that's actually increased 0.8% year on year in June. and by 1.6% for international operations, although the results will differ on the different trade lanes. That's going to be quite a different figure altogether, isn't it?
That's right, Natalie. I mean, Asia Pacific Airlines registered 9% growth, whilst North American carriers were down 8.3%. And Willie Walsh, the IATA Director General, said the data makes it clear that stability and predictability are essential for trade, adding that emerging clarity on US tariffs is giving businesses greater confidence in planning, perhaps.
You've mentioned the T word there, Ian. So that's another topic that's come back into the media this week, tariffs.
Yeah, it was back with a bang, and I'm still completely confused on where things stand over tariffs. Last week, Donald Trump granted a 1 week reprieve on a new wave of sweeping tariffs that was set to take effect on August the 1st. I think it was a move that was widely seen as a last-minute attempt to provide room for negotiations with the key trading partners. The decision actually temporarily postponed the imposition of duties ranging from 10 to 50% on dozens of countries.
It seems like the revised deadline date has now been pushed back to this coming Thursday, which is the 7th of August.
That's right, and despite the temporary nature of the relief, financial markets and trade analysts remain very wary of what comes next, from what I've read. It all seems to be part of Mr. Trump's or Donald Trump's negotiating style. Escalate, then pause briefly to see who blinks. But with global supply chains still very fragile, even a 1 week delay leaves everyone, including BIFA members, in a state of uncertainty.
Absolutely. So moving on to container shipping, Ian, what's happening over there?
Well, Drewry's World Container Index, its composite figure, declined only 1% last week and continued to stabilise after a volatile period, which began after the US tariffs were announced back in April.
So I see from my notes that's a 56% fall compared to July last year.
Yeah, since the big rush to ship cargo before the tariff increase is now over, Drewry expects spot rates to remain less volatile in the coming weeks, and its container forecaster expects the supply-demand balance to weaken again in the second half of the year, which will cause spot rates to contract, it believes.
So it's clear there's still a lot of uncertainty around the volatility and the timing of rate and capacity changes as well.
Ain't that a fact, Natalie? Meanwhile, across in road haulage sector, there's been a bit of dirty laundry airing recently. Motor Transport magazine provided the platform for haulage companies to react angrily to claims from truck drivers that their greed, as they called it, and refusal to pay higher wages has led to a shortage of suitable jobs. That was in response to a previous article in the magazine in which a number of HGV drivers claimed hauliers were paying them peanuts and accused them of being greedy and selfish, which in turn was helping to create a jobs shortage.
I think the drivers were responding to a survey or a study that was carried out by Nationwide Vehicle Contracts, wasn't it? And that predicted that HGV jobs could become extinct, apparently, by 2029.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of a scary prospect, isn't it? Anyway, finally this week,
Absolutely.
I'd like to encourage viewers to spread the word about an interesting potential development to BIFA's Young Forwarder network. BIFA has received lots of inquiries from members about launching a Young Forwarder network group for members based in Kent and East Sussex.
That's right. That would be the 8th region of the Young Forwards Network to exist. So if there are any members watching who would be interested in joining, they can do so by contacting our colleague Nesta, and we'll pop her contact details in the description below as well.
And from my understanding of how the Young Forwarder Network works, those groups, anyone under the age of 32 who works for a BIFA member or is new to the industry and working for a BIFA member is allowed to join, which kind of unfortunately counts me out.
Counts me out as well, Ian.
Yes, we're both getting old, and really that's all I've got time for this week, Natalie.
Well, Ian, thank you very much for joining us this week.
It's been a pleasure as always.
As always, the articles that we refer to during these episodes are linked in the description below. That's all for today's episode of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.
Today's episode of BIFA TV is sponsored by CNS. CNS Enterprise allows customers to streamline their end-to-end shipping and cargo processes using a single online solution.